Zachary. I'm the food and beverage director for the Racquet Club, and I am here with my little chefs, Chef Lily, who is 3. Say hi, Lil.
Hi, Lil.
Chef James, who is 7, and we are going to make, what are we making today, guys?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. Now, this is one of our favorite recipes. We make these pancakes all the time, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna show you what you need. So we've pulled everything out, but the recipe is attached so you guys can see. So we're gonna need sugar, flour, of course, flour.
I melt the butter and then.
Okay, well hold on, we didn't get there yet. We're just showing them what we need. So we need baking powder and baking soda, and we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Then we mix it up.
And we need salt.
Then we mix it up.
Right, we'll get there, Lil. Butter, milk, 1 egg, and the surprise ingredient is vinegar. So what we're gonna do is we are going to mimic the tang of buttermilk, because you probably don't have buttermilk in your house. I don't. If you do, feel free to use buttermilk, but we're gonna use regular milk and do something to it to make that similar taste. So what we're gonna do is we are going to start with 3/4 cup milk.
Oh no.
Yep, there we go, right to there.
I will put it anyway.
Oh, no, we're not ready for that yet, Lils. Okay, and then we're gonna take tablespoons, and we are going to add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, and then we're gonna let it sit while we do everything else, okay? Now, the reason we're adding the vinegar is it's gonna make it look really yucky, all right? But I promise that it's gonna make it really tasty, okay? I also forgot to mention something really important that we did before we started. What did we do, guys?
Melt the butter.
No, but well, yes, we did do that, but we washed our hands, right?
Yeah.
So make sure that you wash your hands before you're cooking. It's really important, okay?
But did we melt the butter?
Yes, we also melted the butter. We'll get there in a second. So we're gonna add the dry ingredients first. So we're gonna put our milk aside and our eggs. We're not ready for any of that just yet. We're gonna start with the flour, and it's gonna go everywhere. And we are gonna add, that's all right, we'll make a mess. We'll clean it up, right?
But I wanna.
Yeah, you're gonna stir it for us, Lil.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna add 1 cup of flour. Okay.
I mix it
Yep,
up.
Lily's got the whisk. She's gonna whisk it up.
Mix it up. Okay.
Good job. All right, so we are doing 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay? Yep, for now, sure. So when it's a little tea, it's a teaspoon. When it's a big tea, it's a tablespoon. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna dump it in for us, okay? Go ahead, put it in. Good job. All right, so that was the baking powder. Okay, now we need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda.
Yep.
Okay, so now the reason we use baking powder and baking soda is because it gives a little bit of a lift to your baking goods. And sometimes if you just use one of them, you cancel out the acid in the buttermilk, or in this case vinegar. It doesn't really work that well. You need both, okay?
Okay.
So now we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We don't want it to be too sweet, right, guys?
No.
So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Go ahead, dump that in. Okay, and then we also need 2 tablespoons of sugar. So the tablespoon, remember I told you this is the big one? All right. 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can do the first one. James, you can do the second one. There we go. All right, now this is gonna be for all the dry ingredients, okay? So we're gonna mix it up with a whisk, try and get it blended really good.
Jim, do you want this one?
Okay, guys, thank you. You're very nice to each other. So go ahead, you guys can stir it up, mix it up really good.
Let's do both.
And then we're gonna add in the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Some baking recipes have you do it the other way around. This one, we're gonna make a nice well in the middle, and then we're gonna add the stuff into it, okay? All right, let's make sure we have it stirred up really good, because you don't want too much salt in one pancake and not enough in another. So there you go. All right, now, let's make a nice well in the center. And now we're gonna add our wet ingredients, okay? So I already pre-melted the 2 tablespoons of butter, but what you can do is if you look at your stick of butter, there's all these little marks. It's already measured out for you, right? So all you have to do is take 2 of those, melt it in the microwave or on the stove, whichever you want. Go ahead, dump that right in the middle.
Okay, I'll do it.
Go ahead, dump it in. All right.
Now the egg.
Yeah, now
That
the
actually
egg.
looks like an egg. Can I do that?
Sure. You're going to crack the egg really good and then open it up to not get any shells in there, all right? There. Oh, yeah, almost. Get one more. There you go now. Open it up. Stick your little fingers.
I want to do it.
There we go. All right.
Mommy
Oh,
has to crush the
okay.
egg.
Hang on, because we got a little bit of shell in there, but we'll get it out. That's fine. I got it. All right, and then the last thing we're gonna add is the milk that now, if you look at it, it is a little bit yucky, but I promise it tastes good. Okay, so we'll add that in. Yeah, see, it's the vinegar interacting with the lactic acid in the milk. All right, and now we're just gonna mix it up. Now, when you mix up pancake batter, you wanna make sure it's really well blended, but it can be a little bit lumpy, and that's okay. Just make sure you're taking your spatula and scraping the sides.
I would take my spatula.
Yep, you're gonna do it too. All right, so,
Don't hold them.
all right. Now you go ahead, you guys can give it a stir. Now you don't want to over stir it, because if you over stir it, your pancakes are gonna be too tough. You want them to be nice and light and fluffy. Okay? And before you do it, you're also gonna want to make sure that you let your batter rest a little bit before you make the pancakes.
Oops.
So we have it nice and stirred. It's got little bubbles in it. Now we're gonna let our batter rest a little bit, and then we're gonna actually make it on the stove. So this is the part that my little chefs usually take a little bit of a backseat, because we don't want any burns, right, little chefs?
Yes.
Okay, you can keep your hat on though. So we're gonna bring it over to the stove. All right, so next you're gonna wanna spray your pan to make sure that your pancakes don't stick to the bottom of it. And you're gonna want to make sure that you get a little heat in there before you add your pancakes, or else they're gonna spread too far. It is olive oil spray. Yep, but you can use any kind of cooking spray, non-stick spray, or if you wanna put a little butter in your pan, you can do that too. All right, so we're gonna let it get a little bit warm, and then we're gonna take a nice spoon, and we're gonna ladle a little bit into each one. Now this is very important that the parents do this, because we don't want any burns, okay? Right, guys?
Wow. Jinx.
So we have our spatula. We're gonna wait till they get nice and brown on both sides. And then we're gonna make off all our pancakes. How you're gonna know to flip them is you're gonna see little bubbles start to form in your pancakes, right? You see the little bubbles? Now we're gonna do other recipes in other series. So we're gonna look at sugar cookies or regular chocolate chip cookies. We might do some pizza dough.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, everybody likes chocolate chip cookies, right? And we hope that all your little chefs can participate. And we want to see pictures too. So if you have pictures of your little chefs making the recipes, please send them to us. And we're going to put them out there in our newsletter. All right, now it looks like we're ready to flip. So we do a nice little flip here. Yeah. I know, pancakes. Nice
Yummy
breakfast.
pancakes.
Yummy pancakes. What do you like on your pancakes here, Wolf?
I like Sarah.
You like syrup? What about you, James?
I like 3 things: whipped cream, butter, and syrup.
Oh, look at you.
And I want strawberry cream.
Strawberry cream.
Is that even a thing?
I don't know. We might have to save that for another episode. I don't know how to make strawberry cream. Maybe we'll have to ask Chef Manny.
Okay, I love strawberry cream.
All right. So now when your pancakes are done, you're just going to scoop them onto a plate.
I will scoop them on.
Add some nice syrup. Don't touch this. It's very hot.
All I gotta say is this is basically lunchtime, not breakfast.
That's okay. You can eat pancakes for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, couldn't you? They're that delicious. All right. Why don't we thank everybody for doing it with us, and we hope we see you again soon.
I'm sorry, I will meet you tomorrow.
We'll see you again soon.